What's up, guys? I'd like us to pretend you have given us $1,000 from your own pocket for us to tell you what you need to know when it comes to aquaculture production in Ghana. I am here with a group of people who have been in this industry for a very long time, and they are going to give us the details we need to be able to know whether aquaculture farming in Ghana is a good thing for us. In today's episode, I am here with
Frank Owusu, and I'm a training and product lead in dense agri-systems, and I'm also a personal consultant, aquaculture consultant.
Okay, and then?
And I'm Loretta Kwanzaa. I'm the head of operations at Dense Agri-Systems. I also work with the Chamber of Aquaculture Ghana as the head of youth and women empowerment unit.
All right.
And I'm Patrick, and I am the admin and PR for the chamber.
All right, and then you know me, Lartman. All right, so in today's episode, we just want to discuss the problems that people face as a result of being in the aquaculture industry of Ghana. What are some of the problems that people do face? Because a lot of my viewers are interested in entering into the aquaculture industry. They are some of them are trying to be off-takers, some of them are trying to be into production and other aspects of the entire value chain system. And currently, they would like to know whether, first of all, what are the challenges available? What are the challenges that they may face as a result of making a step to enter into the industry? Some of them are having money and they want to invest. Some of them are trying to do something else with their lives. So, first of all, Frank, how long have you been in the industry? And so far, what are some of the challenges you've encountered?
Okay, thank you very much, Lartman, and I must commend you for the good work that you are doing for the industry and also giving us this opportunity to be on this large, huge platform.
Yeah.
And basically, I studied natural resources management in school, and then I also happened to be a teaching assistant in the same university, KNUST. And then for the past 2 years, I've been with the aquaculture industry that's like the moving into it as a profession. So that is for the past 2 years. That is I've been with the aquaculture industry. I provide technical support to fish farmers mostly in the Kumasi or the Ashanti region, and also I happen to be part of a startup that we started. That is the Dense Agri-Systems, and then we are looking more into the aquaponics system. And I can personally say that we are one of the pioneers of aquaponics in Ghana. And for the past 2 years, I've had the opportunity to explore various types of aquaculture system that we have in the country, and I've had the opportunity to also engage with different type of farmers that we have in the both commercial and then the small scale farmers. So I have also those challenges that they normally present to us daily or not daily, confrontations with them. And I personally think that the challenges can be divided into 3 main components. So you look at the input side, then the production side, and then the post-harvest or the marketing side. So that's like the 3 main challenges that we have associated with the aquaculture industry. For instance, if you take the input side, realize that inputs such as fingerlings are becoming quite expensive. And most farmers are now even looking into producing fingerlings on their own. And if you look at the survivability of fingerlings, for you to take care of them before they reach the sizes that they can be actually stocked in the ponds, that's where the challenge is. So even with normal productions, you'll be looking at just 30% survivability in tilapia. So that is very huge.
Wow.
So although the hatchery sector is very lucrative, but it also has its own challenges. And those challenges deals with this water quality parameters that have to always be in check, and also management activity has to always be in place. And it's quite tedious, but if you put in the right measures with the right technology, as if you come to our place as the Dense Agri-Systems, we are trying to develop some technologies around this. make management quite easier for the average farmer. So that's some challenges associated with the inputs. And also, if we talk about feed cost is now also becoming a challenge to average farmers. And with that, farmers, I think they are now venturing into this local made production. Going into local production. Some of them are importing some machines into the country, and then they're trying to make use of the local ingredient that we have, and then to produce feed on their own. And I think that one is also something commendable for the industry in Ghana. And if we get more invested into that aspect, it will make, it will ease some pressure on that one. So that's for the hatchery or the input aspect. And then we have the production, the mainstream production too. We have some challenges associated with it.
But I'm coming. With respect to the input, as you were saying, with the fingerlings production, you were saying that some of the farmers are trying to produce their own fingerlings. And is there accessibility to training to be able to even start how to produce your own fingerlings? Is it easy for someone to be able to get that kind of information from any source? Is there anybody or any institute currently available training people as to how to produce fingerlings and even increase the survivability you are talking about?
Yes. I think I stand a chance to be corrected, but as of now, I do not know any exact government institution or even a private institution that is, trying to engage in those high, maybe try to train people in that particular manner. Most people are depending on the YouTube videos, and that is not enough. It's just videos. You can watch them, but the practical aspect, and you have to get people that are trained in it, and then they know what they are doing to be able to take you through the process, because it's a process. For instance, with the catfish production now, that is quite booming. You see, it is very emerging. And if you look at how people are, trying to actually hatch them or actually breed catfish on their own and all that, it's very commendable. So we should get people, and then for us, we are also putting things in place that are company to actually train people even in that aspect, aside the aquaponics that we are doing, to actually train people in that aspect of producing those fingerlings on their own. And I think we are also doing something in relation to that. So we collectively, I think we can put up a program where we have people coming around, experts. There are some, I know some of my senior colleagues, they are very good in this breeding of catfish and then the tilapia. And then it doesn't just end at just the breeding. It takes a lot of processes, the management aspect of it, to increase the survivability, as you were saying. So yes, I think there's more room for improvement in that.
So some of you are already aware that Lartman Farms, we are trying to organize trainings, and so as part of some of the trainings we'll be organizing, we'll have him, and then the other people he's mentioning, he's talking about, just talk to them, and then we'll be able to put up a concrete program in place for everyone to be able to benefit from that. Initially, you mentioned water quality as very, very crucial, and on this particular channel, we've stressed a lot on water quality parameters and other things. As part of the input, you mentioned that people are trying to produce their own feed.
Yes.
It is very expensive for people to get machinery. Exactly. Two, there are people who are having access to the machinery, but the training of the personnel to take care of the machinery is not there. Three, accessibility to the raw materials to be used to be able to produce the feed is also a challenge, because I've visited some farms, they have the machines, but they don't have the raw materials to be able to produce. And it becomes like you've invested a lot of money into being able to purchase a machine, and now you can't even access the raw materials. There are other farmers who are saying that, okay, if I would need corn, I would need soya bean and the rest, then I'll try to produce them myself. Do you think it is going to be sustainable for these farmers who are trying to produce their own feed?
That's the sustainability aspect, not just bringing machines, but do you have the ingredients or the raw material, are they available? And yes, they are available. We produce a lot of corn in Ghana. we produce, and normally we don't use the mainstream corn or the corn fruits for it. We use some, aspects or some part of it, not just the main corn. The corn, we use the after, or the, what do you call it? The waste of the corn. So when they mill it, the waste of the corn, that's where they use. And then we have this rice bran, wheat bran, and those ones. Those are like the waste. So instead of we even selling it directly to add to our environmental issues, those ones can be used and then processed, and then we can actually use it for the feed of the fish. So yes, it's sustainable, but the machines to actually bring down the machine here, the personnel to manage it, those ones too are another challenges altogether that needs to be addressed.
I think talking about feed formulation also, aside from just the normal ingredients that you mentioned, it looks like when farmers decide to produce their own feed, I think they have to take into consideration the nutrient requirements of the fish.
Exactly.
For also. Otherwise, in the end, you are importing machinery, you are producing some kind of feed, but like the quality of the feed will affect the quality of the fishes you are also producing. So in your head, you think you are saving money on cost in terms of fish feed, but like when you look at what you're producing in terms of the, what I call it, biomass, the weight of fish you are bringing, I mean, it wouldn't really tally. So I think with some kind of training, they need some kind of training also when it comes to that.
And I also think with respect to the nutritional content as well, if you don't get a balance right, you see that when you degat the fish, there will be a lot of fat in the fish because they may be eating all right. You know that, oh, these are the components, but then you are just developing fish with a lot of fat, which at the end of the day, the off-taker or whoever is coming to purchase from you may not necessarily be interested in that. Yeah, Patrick, you have something?
Yes, I would want us to focus on this. When you go into the actual grounds, when it comes to the raw materials, majority of them we import them from Ukraine and Russia. And then looking at what is happening at the moment, raw materials, getting access to raw materials is very expensive. And you know that the CD to the dollar is really, really low. The cost of raw material is very, very expensive. So usually we don't encourage farmers to produce their own food because you wouldn't have that cost advantage or economic scale. So we prefer that people who are into feed production should focus more into the feed production. And as a farmer, you also engage more into production of what? Fish.
I think it eases some stress, and then also it gives you some. So, for example, if you are producing your own feed and then you're also taking care of, let's say, your fish, it means that you spend a lot of time in your farm. At the end of the day, it's going to take you about a year to hit a certain target. Because you are now dividing your focus, it will take you a longer period of time. So there's this thing I tell my farmers, for the very first year of your production, what you are trying to do is you are trying to get the basic things of being able to grow out properly in place. That is, to be able to understand the water quality parameters, to be able to understand the feeding, and then also to know if I need feed, I can get it from this place. If I need any consultancy, any advice, I can reach out to this person and that person. And then also in the very first year, you can also try as much as possible to find out from the market, what is the market interested in? And then you try and then you work on that. After a year, when you start making, you're able to complete a cycle. You complete another cycle. Now you've seen the returns that is coming out of the business. Maybe in the second year, you try to increase your capacity in the production aspect. So if let's say you are doing 1,000 and you're able to do 1 year of production, that is 6 months. The next year, maybe you can increase it to like 3,000. So you are increasing your capacity. And the third year, you can also continue to increase the capacity again, but then get more industry players with you. So that when you are in your 5th year, at that time, you may have been able to retrieve some of your setup costs and all of these things before you go and do what? Start with the feed and the other things. Unless maybe you have a lot of money to be able to do that. And since a lot of us are youth, we do not have a lot of money available to us. And so if you want to do hatchery, as it's saying, I think you need to get the training right and you go as hard as possible with that. If you want to get the grow out, make sure that you get it right and then you go as hard as possible as that. And it's going to really help us.
Specialization is very, very important. You specialize, you become very competent at it. Then I think you can shift to other form of production.
I think we are discussing challenges, and then right now we're talking about like input, and we are like focusing more on the feed. I think what can be done about this kind of challenges, if you're not advising the farmers to produce their own feed in a way, especially if your operations are not really, really large, you are doing something maybe small, medium scale. Maybe a way could be having, let's say, government subsidizing the cost of fish feed in a way so that people can be able to afford them for the operation. I mean, this is just my...
The chamber is actually doing that, and we are still on it. It hasn't been easy, Sometimes you want government to come in. Everybody is calling on government.
Yeah.
And the poultry farmers, they've been successful. They are doing it. So I think we can also push, for government to come in so that our farmers will have a subsidy. The problem is that the small-scale farmers, they end up not enjoying those subsidies. Because the big farmers, so the foreigners, they would enjoy.
Because they are into large scale.
So I think government should strategize for when it comes to those subsidies so that the small scale farmers would enjoy more from the subsidy. Because sometimes I engage them often. These are the challenges they usually tell me.
All right. So those who joined the training Lartman Farms, we did in the month of July. At the end of the training, there was a fish feed company that was available, and then all the farmers who came for the training received some subsidy. So when you go and you are buying, it doesn't matter if you are buying one or whatever quantity, there is a certain reduction available to them. But that is just something small. There are a lot of farmers, there are a lot of people who are watching who would like to join. And so what we are also trying to do is, together with the Chamber of Aquaculture, we are all trying to push this to the stakeholders, talking to them, telling them, hey, there is a community, there are farmers, they are in the aquaculture industry, and these are the problems that we need. And because of this, some of these issues that we are discussing will be addressed at the program that we'll be talking about shortly after. Yeah, so after input, what else were you talking about?
Then after input, then we go into the main, I think we can talk about the post-harvest and then the marketing.
Post-harvest
and
marketing.
That one too has been a major challenge.
Yeah.
Because now you get a lot of people, they are done with production, but they are not getting, people to buy it. Buy it at what price? So that one too becomes very, very important, because if you go to Kumasi, for instance, the farmers are now, struggling to sell fish 1 kilo at 18 cedis. They are struggling to sell it at that. And then, the cost of input, that's the fingerling and then the feed itself, is the feed itself weighs about 70% of
total cost of
So, and then if you are struggling to sell at 18 cedis, and then, so that means, the sector is becoming unsustainable. And you get this cost, and normally what happens is that when the buyers come in, they come with their own, price and all that. They come and determine the price for you, the farmer. And because the more you hold the fish in your holding facility, the more cost you are incurring. So you are forced to sell it at any price that they come with. So I think and also there are people who want the fish. So there's a gap. There are people who can buy it at very, very competitive prices. So some farmers are even selling it 25 cedi per kilo. 25 per kilo. I know a farm that sells 25 cedi per kilo, and then the market is there to buy it.
Yeah.
So there's always that breach, or there's always that gap, and then we have to actually put in more measures to actually link potential customers to farmers so that it makes the business very, very sustainable. So I think that's one major challenge around it. And then also, if we can have some cold facilities for the small scale farmers, the smallholder farmers, they don't have any post-harvest storage facilities. that's the case. They don't have any storage facility. So if we can do something and get like a storage facilities, it could be like a central storage facility where they come when their fishes are, they reach maturity, they harvest, they store them while they are waiting for the markets. I think that one will be louder.
Patrick, since you are with the chamber, is there anything you guys are doing in respect to what he's talking about?
Yes, we are trying to create a central market so that most of the farmers, after they are done with harvest, they can take their produce there, where most customers and consumers will know that if you want tilapia or catfish, you go to this very venue, you will get them. So this is in talks, and we are collaborating with other people to get a good location that all farmers can come together to sell their fish. So it is in the pipeline. Definitely, we are going to put that out very soon.
Okay.
And one other problem that most farmers don't really pay much attention to is biosecurity issues.
Yeah.
And fish disease. It is really a big issue in the industry. Things that you may not see them as important, they are very, very important. How to keep yourself clean when you're going to the farm. Handling is very, very important, because catfish is quite strong, but tilapia is very, very fragile. So the little contamination, you have your tilapia. I don't know your observation when it comes to.
We've seen it a lot. We've seen it a lot.
I think for me, in my opinion, even though the industry comes, I know every industry has challenges. Even though the industry comes from kind of challenges, they present opportunities also to capitalize on that. So today we are discussing all these things, but I think this shows that there are gaps that if you really take one kind of area you can thrive in, and so far as you're providing solutions, then you can also come up with a good business out of it. And Patrick was mentioning having like a central market.
Yes.
Yeah, and we are trying to do that also with my at my startup. We are trying to create like a common platform, like having this particular niche that's specifically tailored towards aquaculture industry, so that when you're looking for, aside from inputs or aside from like logistics and all that, you could also market your produce. So we are also looking into that, and that, as I mentioned, is like a challenge that's there, but then we are looking at the opportunity. So I think it's quite big. They are discussing of challenges, but then the same challenge are opportunities also for businesses to try.
All right, and I think for smallholder farmers, they should be willing and ready to do their marketing by themselves, because a lot of the time someone is doing like just 1 ton of fish, and someone next to their home is not aware that they are into fish farming, and so at the end of the day his produce is ready and he doesn't know what to do with it. But in the same community, people are buying fish from other people from other communities, and that is because there's someone available over there who has made people know that they have fish available. Two is if you are doing 1,000 or a little bit and below 1,000, I think you should also focus on being able to process your fish by yourself. Now, when I say being able to process your fish, I'm not necessarily saying that invest into a big processing facility. There are the outdoor ovens, there are the other ovens that you can take advantage of. But then there are also other facilities that are now being made available for people to come with their farm produce and process them at a small fee, and then you can sell them. And these facilities are also licensed under the Food and Drugs and the GSA, the Ghana Standard Authority. So when you take your product over there, automatically that product is quite okay for the market. And because of that, it becomes easier for the farmer to sell at a premium price, because this particular fish produce has gone through proper management processes, and then it is now made available to the market. Now, a lot of the time, so I think the farmers think too small. They are thinking, okay, so I'm doing 1,000 fish pond, and so I don't need to put myself out there as someone who is doing a lot. Sometimes I feel like if you are doing 1,000 fish capacity, put yourself out there as someone who is doing a little bit more than that, because it is going to push you to do more. there are lots of opportunities in this particular industry. A lot of serious opportunities that if some of these farmers, because there are some people who have met up with me, and then at the end of the day, I realize they don't have enough money. So what I tell the farmers is, if you are mapping, let's say, a location like Adringano, what you do is you look for other restaurants in Adringano, and then you get other farmers in the same locality. So if, let's say, we have 5 farmers in Adringano who are doing catfish farming, you go to them, you talk to them, make sure that these people are producing quality enough. Then you buy from these farmers, knowing very well that you are going to be supplying some restaurants in that locality or a locality nearby. But then you take it to some of these places where I said it is available for you to process. You process with high quality, FDA certified products. Then you bring it to these restaurants. At the end of the day, you are not just providing them with any fish, but you are providing them with what? Some quality produce. And so if the person is saying, I don't have money, then I tell the person, go and build your capacity in that respect. So sometimes I give them the details of the farmers in the various localities to go and talk to. So kind of like the off-taker kind of mindset. You go, you talk to the various farmers, and then quickly you are good to go. What other challenges are there in the industry?
Okay, so another challenge that we can also talk about is the skilled labor that we have around it.
Yeah.
Normally, these farms employ, you actually have to get a skilled labor around it, because it doesn't just deal with the practical aspects. There's also laboratory works. If they are talking about big farms, they have laboratory works, and even with our small farms, we have some water quality checks that we have to be doing, and then that normally also employs some form of skilled labor that you have to get on your farm or something. And how to actually maintain this skilled labor on the farm, because normally these farms are situated in remote areas, and for you to get a graduate to actually be there permanently, there have to be some facility that you provide for the person to actually stay and then feel comfortable doing whatever that he's doing, so that he's, he also deliver his services. So normally the challenge has to do with obtaining the skilled labor and then maintaining him or her on the farm for some time. So that has also been a challenge. Most farmers complain of when they bring this skilled labor on their farms. They train them for some time, and then they move to another farm, or they even move on their own. I don't think it's a fault on the part of the skilled labor or the graduate that comes. Normally, it has to do with the conditions that are prevailing at that particular farm. If the condition is okay, if the working condition is okay, and this is farm work that it deals with labor intensive and is very tedious. So the person has to be remunerated very well, and then he has to also be motivated very well to stay to deliver his services for the time period that you are looking out for. So that's also another challenge, and then some of the.
Is there another challenge?
Yes, access to credit facilities.
Yeah, that one.
Most farmers are really struggling. And then when it comes to insurance, our industry is new. So most of these insurance companies are quite reluctant.
Yeah.
So it's quite challenging when it comes to insurance and credit facilities. But at the moment, there's something in the pipeline. Ghana Agricultural Insurance Pool, they have piloted a program. They've selected some few fish farms that they're trying to put them on their program. So on that side, we say that is positive. And we engaged ADB.
Yeah.
Yes, we had a webinar, and we were saying that you can't really blame them that much, because they are giving you people's money.
Yeah.
So they have to get returns on that money. I think government should come in. I would always go back to everything goes back to government. Government have to really see our industry as an industry that would elevate Ghana. If they don't see that, they wouldn't contribute that much into the industry. So our farmers are crying. They want credit facilities. So I think something should be done about it. It's very difficult for you to get loans, and these loans, they come with high interest rates. So I think something should be done on that one. It's going to help the industry.
Another thing I think with the farmers we need to also understand, that is specifically on the farmer, is the fish farming you have started is a business. And so you need to approach it as a business. If there are a lot of people who are doing fish farming and they've not registered it, they've not made anything, they've not had anything in place. So even if there's a credit facility, there's a grant or anything available, you cannot access it. Yeah. Two is what kind of records are you taking in your farm? A lot of these farms do not take proper record. Some of them don't even have a business bank account. So if today I want to invest in your farm and I come and I ask you, because a lot of the time they want at least 2 to 3 years details of your financials, and you don't have that available. So for every farmer who is watching us today, we are telling you that the moment you start your fish farm, in less than a year, make sure that you have registered it and you are trying to comply by all the regulations. The government will do their bits, the Chamber of Aquaculture will do their bits, and there are personnel who are going to be available to assist you. But if you don't have some of these things in place, it makes life difficult for yourself. Okay? And so the Chamber of Aquaculture, as we've been saying, is organizing a program dubbed what?
Aquaculture Ghana.
And when is this happening?
It's happening on the 6th of September.
All right.
Just next month. And it's coming up at the World Trade Center, Accra, just opposite Children's Park. So you should find your way there easily. And the time is 10:30 a.m. We have renowned personalities in the industry represented. So if you don't come, you're going to miss a lot.
A lot of things that
a lot of things. All that you have discussed here, these aspects are going to talk about them. But the detailed program is next year. That is 2023 is in April. So make it a point to show up next month, sit, and then enjoy the package that we are going to unleash in next year when the actual program takes off. But next month's event is just the launch. So we are bringing the stakeholders together to communicate the idea to them. So they will all listen together and have a great and a wonderful industry.
Okay. Is there anything you finally want to say?
I also think that it's also an opportunity to network.
Network.
A lot of the
you can see me, you see them.
Yes,
you see other big people.
Yes.
So don't miss it. You should be there. Even if not just for anything, you might just meet the right person that can give you like the credit, the investment that you want, or some kind of collaboration can even
recommend you. Yeah. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So don't miss it.
So I think this is also a great platform, for all farmers to actually come, stakeholders to actually be on it. I think most of the challenges that we've mentioned here deals with connections. The links are, broken, and then when you come, you are able to get the links. If it is an investor, you potentially get someone to actually assist you.
Investors will be available.
And then also, if it is input supply that you are not getting, probably there's someone who is up there who you meet, and then it becomes quite easier for you. And then market to people are marketers will be there. So it's a great platform.
It's a very huge platform.
So I'll also entreat everyone to also partake in this event, and then it will be something that is what
we want it to be a tradition. So after this very launch, and after 2023, 2024 we are having it, 25 we are having it, 26 we are
having it. That's come to stay.
Yeah.
So don't miss it. Be there.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
It's been amazing having you sharing all of this detailed information with us. We are certain that we'll be seeing you on the set, and we'll talk more. If you would like to register for this event, as I said, the information will be made available in the description section. There will be a link where you can just go in there and register for this particular program. This particular program is not a program you should miss if you want to be in the aquaculture industry. And for some of us, we are now in the industry and we didn't think we'll be in the industry. And so just take advantage of this particular launch, and then any other information, you can take that information, then do whatever thing you want to do with that. And so thank you very much for your time. So if you would like to register, as I said, at the name section, you put in your first name, your surname, and then organization, you put in your organization. And then for us to be able to trace that you joined this program through this particular video, into brackets, you can put in there Lartman Farms. It becomes easier for us to know that you join us because of this particular video. Also, if you come, we would make sure there will be something available for everyone who is going to come and is going to join our community of farmers. So please continue to like, share, and subscribe. And we would like to see you on the 6th of September at the World Trade Center. So we all like to tell them, see you there. Bye.